PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to another episode of PACTV Community News. Local stories from Duxbury, Kingston, Pembroke, and Plymouth.
We have a great show tonight that includes a harvest party with the South Shore Sustainable Group and a motorcycle event to support our fallen heroes and their families.
PCN meets the director of a Hurricane Katrina documentary, the kids behind the award-winning shark tagging film, and we peek into the recording session for the Spire Open Mic winner.
Town Talk takes us to Pembroke Town Hall, and PCN brings you a pirate story in honor of National Talk Like a Pirate Day.
It's going to be a great show, and we begin with a pontoon boat ride with the North and South River Watershed Association. If you haven't been on the North River yet, there's still time in the season to check it out. To help people become more aware of the protection and care that our natural waterways need, the North and South River Watershed Association hosts educational tours up the North River. Brian Sullivan recently boarded one of their pontoon boats to get us this wonderful story.
Usually they're not.
The North River might just be one of those bodies of water that you see every day and still not realize it's there. I include myself on that list, having commuted up Route 3 thousands of times, driving over the river that's split by the highway just north of the Marshfield exit without knowing it was the North River. Luckily, we had a tour guide on one of the final days of summer who was able to give us an up-close and personal look at this majestic river. By definition, a watershed is an area or ridge of land that separates waters flowing to different rivers, basins, or seas. Samantha Woods has dedicated most of her adult life to educating folks like me on the importance of maintaining and preserving these watersheds.
You know, wherever you are, you're in a watershed, and usually there's an organization like mine, a watershed association, that really needs your support and help, and I hope you'll look into it wherever you live, whether it's down in Plymouth, where there's the Eel River and the Jones River in Kingston, or if you live in Pembroke, the North and South.
Back in 1970, when the North and South River Watershed Association was started as a membership grassroots organization, their concern was not just the health and protection of the rivers, but the education of the next generation of stewards as well. After about 5 minutes out on the pontoon boat, my response was like many who had gone out there before me.
The biggest reaction that we get is, I didn't know this was here. It's sort of a hidden gem. There certainly are public access points, but not everybody's a kayaker. So this is one way that people can access it. And so I think that people see it a lot when they travel over Route 3, but they don't really realize the extent, the breadth of it, and how much green space there really is so close to an urban and suburban environment.
For people that may not be big fans of going out on the water out of fear of motion sickness, they can rest easy on the pontoon boats used for the tours.
This is a really easy platform for people. It's very comfortable, and it can sit a lot of people, and it's an easy way for people to, it's stable, it doesn't, rock. So it's an easy platform for people to enjoy casually. And, the rivers are very calm. This is not like going out into a bay or an ocean.
Organizations like the North and South River Watershed Association are always stronger when they have an engaged community that cares about their environment and the future of its natural habitats.
Our feeling is if you get people out on these rivers and engaging them and seeing the beauty of them and appreciating the natural surroundings and what the organization has been doing to help restore and protect these vital resources, that they will be stewards wherever they go of their river, whether it's this river or some other river that they might live near.
Reporting from Rote Marine in Marshfield, I'm Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.
It's been 10 years since the levees broke and flooded large areas of New Orleans due to Hurricane Katrina. As most of us remember, the damage to the city and its people was devastating. Damage that large doesn't get fixed overnight or even in a few years. Patrick Wooten and filmmaker Ted McGuire set out to remind folks that there is still work to be done even 10 years later.
10 years ago, on the 29th of August, it was when the storm came ashore. At that point, it caused a major flood in the city, and that caused the largest forced migration of people in the history of our country. This guy was one of them. Well, from New Orleans, there were 400, almost 500,000 displaced, of which maybe a quarter of that was on military bases around the country. So Patrick's story is some of what we're presenting 10 years after presentation in Plymouth, because he decided to stay up here.
I got evacuated from New Orleans, you know, from Katrina and everything. It's like, I call it from disaster to success, across the other side of the rainbow, and like a blessing in disguise, you know, as though the storm had happened within, but now, you know, as though I hope people don't look at it like it's over, but it's not over. And so people can still reach down in their heart, you know, to look back as though it's the 10-year anniversary, but people still need help. So I'm looking to help my hometown back in Algiers, Louisiana, and the Insane Hunter Motorcycle Club, you know, to get this thing up and running, because they need to help the people with the troubled teens and everything else, you know, trying to get everything up and running.
Patrick was moved up here in September, about 2 weeks after the storm, roughly, and I had gone down there. I had not met Patrick at that point. I went down there about 8 months later, thinking that the city would be better off than, you know, certainly after the storm immediately. But it really wasn't. It was what I found was that it was pretty much still an absolute catastrophe mess. And instead of just being a tourist while I was there, I went into sort of a reporter, filmmaker mode. I had a little palm quarter with me that was digital, so I figured I could get some interviews and do some post-production, clean it up the best I could. And I interviewed some residents at the time and made a film.
I went down there to help support, you know.
Well, you know what? It's important. Trust me. You come down, it's important.
So the film is now almost 10 years old, and there's a lot of relevance to it even today, 10 years later. So we're presenting that film and doing a kind of a then and now with that side of it as well. The benefit for the Insane Hunters Motorcycle Club, these guys are a group that mentors teens, and they're from his old neighborhood, as we said, and they are also Mardi Gras Indians, and you'll see some of the pictures of their very, very ornate costumes that they wear during the Mardi Gras celebration. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing tradition that these guys are upholding and keeping the tradition going in the city. It's a beautiful, beautiful tradition that keeps kids off the streets and keeps them on the right path.
PACTV sponsors a 2-week movie-making workshop for teens each summer. This year, the kids filmed a documentary about a local business and family of chocolate makers, while last year's shark tagging documentary won a prestigious award. PCN was on hand at the annual summer celebration to talk to the filmmakers.
For those who may not know, the Telly Awards honor the best film and video productions, online video content, as well as local, regional, and cable television commercials and programs. The award is national and includes documentaries on its list of honorees. Winners receive either a silver or bronze statuette. PACTV's 2014 Summer Workshop program submitted their shark documentary among 12,000 other submissions. They walked away with a silver.
About 10% of what is submitted really does win a silver. So out of that 12,000, it's pretty amazing that we were able to get an award out of it, and the top award for the work that the students did last year.
Caroline Garrett played a major role in the 2014 summer camp at PACTV, and she was the point person for the summer 2015 program.
My role is really, much like the rest of the staff, is to run the curriculum and teach courses, kind of micromanage, and on location kind of going through and making sure that everything is running to plan. We had students filming on location, we had students interviewing on location. That's one of the great things about this camp, is that students do everything, and we're just kind of there to monitor and make sure that the quality is the best and that they're getting as much out of it and learning as much as they can on location and through the experience.
The subject of this year's documentary was local chocolatier Ron Fideli and his family-run Fideli's Hand-Dipped Chocolate Shops in Pembroke and Plymouth.
I'm always interested in trying to broaden our audience, so I jumped at the chance, and they came in with the whole entourage, and we just showed them what we do every day, day in, day out.
While it may have been a combination of great instruction from the camp leaders and just a wonderful group of kids, Fideli was inspired by the whole experience.
They rekindled my spirit of youth. They really did. They were polite, they were inquisitive, they asked great questions. They were just very mature for their age.
The event itself enjoyed a good-sized crowd, and it wasn't just industry insiders and students. It also included the family and friends of the people in PACTV's 4 communities whose lives have been touched by their many programs.
To be able to put all those 4 towns and youth in those 4 towns into one room and celebrate their work is really special for me. For the camp itself, what I take away from it, and probably what I value the most from the camp, is that all the staff are filmmakers as well, and to be able to see young artisans like we do for the camp not only learn and just completely digest the information that we're giving them and the tools that we're giving them, but to take ownership of it and really be creative and kind of mimic what we do as filmmakers, not as staff. To be able to see that in a student is really special. It gives me hope for the future.
Outside Studio G in Plymouth, Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.
I'm most impressed.
It was very impressive.
It was indeed, yes.
Every summer, the summer program gets better and better, and the kids are wonderful. And PACTV also won a Bronze Telly Award for their Paddling Through History mini-documentary in collaboration with the Wampanoag Indigenous program at Plymouth Plantation. The documentary was incorporated into the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Indian program in Washington.
And congratulations to all, and keep up the good work.
Right.
Sustainable South Shore is a regional advocacy group committed to inspiring people to conserve energy, protect the environment, and live sustainably. The group recently held their harvest party at Mary O'Donnell's Greenway Farm in Kingston. PCN was there to bring you the story.
We're here tonight hosting the South Shore Sustainable Group, which has their fall harvest, and we're having it here. And we're burying our food and baking it in the ground for tonight. We've expected somewhere between 50 and 75 people. We're going to be talking about all things pertaining to sustainability and making life better on the South Shore.
Welcome. I am so pleased that you're here. And what we're talking about tonight is the big picture and all the little pieces that solve the big picture. This evening we're gathering, brainstorming how to get support around facing the difficulties that come from carbon dioxide. The latest report from Jim Hansen, who retired from NASA, and the scientists that he's working with, is to expect a 10-foot sea level rise by 2065 because of the feedback loops happening off of Antarctica. So how do we do that? We have to get off fossil fuels. That means oil, the gas in your car, off of gas that's pumped out of the ground from fracking. What I would like you to do is be aware of this critical moment that you have chosen to be alive in. You are creating a whole movement that is going to save our planet. Right here we've got wind turbines. They are a superb solution. Putting solar on your house, there's another huge opportunity to solarize our transportation through solar personal rapid transit. That means traveling in gondolas that have solar panels up above. It's here. We're hoping to make it happen in Somerville by the end of this year and then spread beyond that. The carbon also has to be put back into the ground. There's some things that people can do at home, at their houses, to do that. Biochar, you can buy it, you can find it online. It was developed by Native Americans before Columbus. Another way is to find heirloom Grass Seeds, Pearls Premium has put together a set of grass seeds that will have long roots. They need little watering. You can pick them up at Whole Foods or, again, find them online, Pearls Premium. And thank you so much for getting the word out.
Chapter 40 American Legion Riders held a motorcycle event this summer with proceeds benefiting local fallen heroes and their families. There were raffles, entertainment, food, and of course some motorcycles. PCN was there to share in the fun.
Hi, I'm Tony Smith, and I'm with the Plymouth Post 40 Legion Riders. We're here today for our hometown fallen hero. It's our 4th year doing it, and the support has been fantastic. It's a good cause because we don't want to forget our fallen boys that have gone over there and made the ultimate sacrifice. Our event today is a run, and we're just hopefully going to be having some vans and then all our bikes. We're going to go back to the hall and have a pork dinner, and we have beautiful raffles and things like that, so it'll make it a nice day. Live band, so it's going to be an all-day affair. So we're really looking forward to it.
My name is Jen. I'm a member of the Commercial Club. This is Ronnie. He's a member of the Commercial Club also. And we're just the ones in charge, I guess, part of the committee that is running it. We're raffling off a motorcycle 2014 Harley-Davidson Switchback. It's from the Friends of the Commercial Club. They are actually raffling off money to raise money for scholarships.
I sew patches on vests and all kinds of military stuff. I also make headbands, and I go from different events and support all the military events and other biker events. I donate some of the proceeds back to the organization, whatever event that I go to. And I also donate either a headband or a neckerchief that I've made to the cause for the raffle tables.
This is the America's Hometown Hero run that's done annually now. This is my 4th one with the Legion Riders, our team, our group that worked so hard to put this all together. It goes together for all the heroes, not just Plymouth, but because we are in Plymouth, it is called the Hometown, America's Hometown Fallen Heroes. But it goes out to all of them. When we ride for all. But the money does go to the scholarships for our veterans' families who have a hard time or have taken hard times, or as we know, the economy just cannot do it. My goal is to reach a scholarship in every single one of our fallen heroes' name. That's my goal. Hasn't happened, but it will. Until then, we still continue to give the little scholarships that we give, but we use in memory of all. Someday I'm going to say their names and put it out there proudly. But we had a great turnout today. It'll get bigger and bigger. We can't thank supportive people from our town, around the towns, that gave donations with what little it might be, all big it might be. It all means the same.
We think about them all the time. We ride for them. We ride for all our veterans.
Carlin Tripp, winner of the Spire's Open Mic Challenge, has finally made it to C-Sound Studios for his awarded recording session. PCN visited Carlin at the Music Box prior to his session at C-Sound to talk a little bit about the support he got that got him where he is, and also what's next for this talented local artist.
But if you can understand, he may seem like a joker, but he still got a plan.
My name is Carlin Tripp, and I'm here today. This is kind of a follow-up to the Spire Open Mic Challenge, which was this past winter, and I was lucky enough to win. So we're going to be doing some recording over at C-Sound Music Studio, which is over at the Spire. And we're here in the Music Box because this is kind of the place that first brought me to Plymouth. And I'd never really been to Plymouth before, but I saw the Music Box on the internet, and I said to myself, you know what, I got to go check that place out. It looks awesome. And I'd been looking for a shop that had, you know, real guitars in it, and a place that just had, you know, sort of that special touch.
I'm Mick. I own the Music Box. Most everybody knows me as Hollis Green. and I'm the owner. And Carlin is a developing singer-songwriter, and one of the best things I can say, and what drew me to him, is that he's willing to listen and very interested in hearing new ideas, especially new ideas from music that is old music that people don't even hear anymore, and drawing inspiration from that. And I think that that's going to serve him very well down the road. Very proud of him for winning the challenge over at the Spire. It's a well-deserved win, and I hope he does very well with the recording. So I'm very excited to hear what he does.
No one can say that I should stay. There's no place that I'd rather be than behind the wheel of this automobile, just cruising the land of the free. Oh my, oh my.
You know, it's an awesome opportunity. It really is. I mean, I think recording music, it's kind of like every musician's dream, every songwriter's dream anyway. And you know, and it's not exactly the most attainable goal. Like it's kind of it can be a really difficult thing to come across. You know, to feel like you've got the right material, but then, you know, to come up with the funding. I mean, you see it every day now. In order to prepare for a studio session, you really have to get your techniques down. You have to go back to basics. Things have to be perfect. You know, they're going to be recorded and they're going to be listened to the same way over and over again forever. And you have to make sure that you can really lock in, you know, so you're not wasting time. That's the biggest danger of being in the studio, is wasting time.
My name is Mark Bryant, and we're at C-Sound Recording Studio, and we're tracking some new music from Carlin Tripp. This is the first time I've actually worked with him directly. We've done some sound for him live, but as far as recording and actually have him in the studio, this is the first time. Tonight, I'm strictly going to be an engineer. My assistant Dot is also going to be helping me, and Jake Hill is actually going to be producing the project. And Jake Hill's band, Deep Creek, is going to be the backing track band. They're going to be his support band. Plymouth is great. Plymouth has a great music community, just so much talent, singer-songwriters, all kinds of music, and you can't go anywhere in a town this size, you know, east of the Mississippi, and find the talent that we have here. It's just crazy.
You always have to thank, you know, I'd have to thank my parents, you know, for supporting me as an artist. And then, you know, I have to thank, you know, Hollis for the music box. You know, like I said, this place was kind of a big turning point in my career, you know, because I'd been sort of just a directionless, open mic character, you know, until I came here. And, you know, the Spire is a great venue, and everyone that I've met through the Spire, it's a really nice community. So I guess, you know, I have to thank sort of the Plymouth music community for kind of, you know, keeping me alive in terms of, you know, being a musician.
'Cause all these tires keep on rolling, and the days go wandering by, but I sit here like a ghost at the wheel, beneath that neon, no vacancy sign. Oh my.
Saturday, September 19th is National Talk Like a Pirate Day. We're not really sure how or when this special day started, but shiver me timbers, what fun it will be. So in honor of Talk Like a Pirate Day, PCN went out on our local pirate cruise with Plymouth Cruises to get into the spirit.
My name is Paul Quintal, and I own and operate Plymouth Cruises aboard the boat Lobster Tails. We had to diversify and do a bunch of different trips to get people interested in what we do, and we came up with this idea of trying a pirate cruise, something that has never been done here in the area. We're gonna follow the charted course. Show them the dotted line there, men. Trace it out if you would. We'll be looking for treasure. X marks the spot. We've had problems with enemy pirates, and on occasion have had to use our cannons. Who can help me with the cannons? Put them up. The Buccaneer has our treasure. You want to go in there and get it? Yeah. The Buccaneer is the baddest of the bad. Now belly up to the rail. Hang on tight. We're going in. Can you go for the sails, mateys? Rip his rags. Disable that boat. Look out, mateys. Hold fast on the guns. And you blast that scallywag. We want the treasure. We want the treasure. He has surrendered. Send the treasure over. We go out, we do our pirate thing, we capture the treasure and pull up a trap, show them the critters inside, and some of these things people never see in a lifetime. Once they get their belly full, they want to escape, and they often think the easiest way out is this net that is shaped like a funnel, quiet like that. Maybe it'll come out, we'll see. We got a lobster to share with you guys. Usually the one I get bit with has sharp needles they use for ripping, for tearing. Feel how sharp those are. Put the sword there, see what he does with the sword. If the body length is at least 3 1/4 long, you harvest the lobster. If it's short, you send them right back.
Hey, here! Can I try one? 2, 3!
Go! Count for your crab!
Right, break up, behind your hole. We're rascals, stop those little and men, break up, behind your hole. We're devil and flashing.
And be sure to remember, talk like a pirate day. Arr.
Oh, a pirate's life for me.
Arr, where's Johnny Depp when we need him? Town Talks takes us to Pembroke for an early fall update.
Well, hi, folks. Welcome to a new installment of What's New in Pembroke. This is Town Administrator Ed Thorne, and we'll be previewing some of the items that will be coming up. Number one, on October 27th, we'll have a special town meeting, and that's a usual occurrence for us. We tend to try to balance the previous year's budget, and we're going to be spending about $1 million to balance the snow and ice deficit. So, but that's an annual occurrence for us, and obviously because of last winter, our deficit is a little larger than usual. So we'll, those are things that we're going to be working on, in addition to some capital items for the various departments that we'll be discussing probably more in the future as we get closer to town meeting. And a couple of things that we're going to be working on in the fall here will be some handicap accessible projects finishing up at the Birch Street Park, and we'll start to examine making the Herring Run Park on Barker Street handicap accessible. So those are two items that we've got either in the works right now or preparing to look at. Now, while we're preparing, we're looking at the winter activities and emergency management, and we'll be installing a new large generator at the library because we discovered with Snowstorm Nemo a couple of years ago that the library was our ideal place for an emergency shelter. We'll still use the senior center as our warming center, but right there behind it is the library, and we found out that that was a better fit for our emergency management shelter as opposed to using the gymnasium in one of the elementary schools. So those are kind of some of the things that we're going to be looking at. Another major project is hopefully we'll be having a new trash contract here in Pembroke. Our current hauler no longer is in business, and we've had a new hauler pick up the slack, and we're going to be working on a new contract with them and possibly going to a fully automated trash system here in town. Right now we're partially that way because of our recycling program, but we're really looking at being serious about being fully automated here in town. So those are the things that we're going to be working on this fall, and hopefully the next time I chat with you folks, we'll have an update on some of those items.
Thanks for watching this week's show. Replay times can be found at PACTV.org or watch the show on YouTube by searching for the PACTV Community News channel.
And be sure to like PCN on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to receive news, previews, and links to all our stories.
We will see you next week for more local stories on another edition of PACTV Community News.